Boys and girls, this is a special time just for you, and I just want to welcome you. Come a little closer to your camera, wherever you might be out there, and just know that this is a special message from Pastor Tyler to you. So in the Bible, God makes 5 big covenants with us. Now, do you remember what a covenant is? We talked about this a couple weeks ago. A covenant is a promise between 2 groups of people. And today we're going to hear about the covenant that God made with the people of Israel, saving them from Pharaoh and freeing them from slavery. But this covenant is a little different than the rainbow covenant that we heard about a couple of weeks ago. See, in the rainbow covenant, do you remember that one where God sent the rainbow? God makes a big promise. And we didn't have to do anything as God's people. We just had to receive that promise. That was our gift. But in today's covenant, God makes another big promise, but the people also have to make some big promises to God as well. So God's big promise is really cool. God says, I promise to be your God. I promise. Now, what do you suppose that means? What is God trying to tell us when God says, I am your God? So, I think it means something like this. God always promises to care about us. It means that you will always be important to God no matter what. Like, no matter what happens, you're always going to be important to God. It means that God will never be too busy for you or refuse to listen to you, ever. And that God is always with you and always invested in your well-being and making sure that you are A-OK. God promises to be our God. And like I said, that's pretty cool. It really is pretty cool. But do you know, what do you think that's supposed to mean for us? What do you think? What does it mean for us to be God's people? Well, in a moment we're going to hear about 10 big commandments that God gave to his people to help us understand what this means. I could probably sum them up really easily, though. Every commandment is a call for us to take care of God and of each other the same way that God cares for us. So to be God's people means to care for others just like God cares for us. Now, that sounds really big and really hard, doesn't it? I think so too. I mean, do I really have to care about my brother when he's being mean to me? Or do I really have to care about my sister when she's really bugging me? Or what about my best friend when they make me angry? Do I really have to care? Sometimes we don't live up to our end of the promise, right? But remember what I told you the other week? When God makes a promise, God never breaks God's promise to us, even if others don't hold up their end of the bargain. God cared about us long before we ever tried to care for one another. And God will continue to care about us no matter how many times we fail to care about one another. So, you know what? If you get mad at your brother, God still loves you. Not good news. God's hope and dream is that one day our care for each other will be as big as God's care for us. And that is a beautiful dream. Wouldn't you agree? So why don't we take a minute and pray together? And you can repeat after me if you'd like. God, thank you for caring for us. You care for us yesterday, today, and always. Help us care for each other too. But when we fail to care, remind us that you never stop caring. Amen. Thanks for coming up, boys and girls.